Start. So education from group D.
So our topic is about education.
Janet.
Yes. What What is education? The process of receiving or giving symptomatic instruction, especially at a school or a university, is education. About our presentation, so we are going to present about an interview of our principal about his job and what he does through the day.
So we had a discussion about
So,
our with principal about our
yes.
topic.
So I'll show you a short clip of the video like we did. This is a short clip I edited out of 5 minutes. So I'll
So
increase
what
the
leads you to
volume.
do this profession? This principal.
Start with your question. So can you hear the audio? Let's
No.
start.
Yeah, that you
Yes, sir.
leave. I'll share the footage.
I'm sharing it, sir. So like, start with your question. Yes.
So, so what leads you to do this profession? This principal process.
Once again, can you doubt us? I'm not able to hear you. Or maybe you can just type in that message box also.
What leads you to do this profession?
Okay, fine, thank you. Yeah, regarding the profession, so earlier when I was a kid, when I was studying in school, so I also had an ambition that I want to. So maybe the best thing was education. So educating children's, so preparing children's for future leaders of the country. So due to these, I thought of why don't I uh, choose my profession as an educationalist.
Okay, sir.
So how did you became the principal of the school?
Okay. So that's been yeah. So I worked in a number of schools in Kathmandu and India also. So earlier I was basically teaching in just a normal school. So later, after years and years, so I was working as a coordinator of that group also. And then unfortunately after 12 to 13 years, so I doing something different. So I wanted to leave the school. So and so ultimately there was a vacancy and then I applied and things are fine, smooth, functioning well.
So I'm also pretty eager to know that which subject did you teach?
Okay, in school level or college level?
So like any.
In school level.
In school level. Fine, in school I've taught a number of subjects. Okay, basically my major was in English. So I taught English. So beside English, I've taught student social studies. And especially in plus two, I've taught business studies and Cambridge University A-level students. I've taught them English.
Yes,
Okay, sir. So like, my question is like, what are the duties as a principal of our school?
Yeah, regarding the duties of a principal, okay, so regarding duties, okay, so the principal has to work, okay, all round, that's meant for 24 hours, okay, and so my duty is to lead Okay, the students. And there's some network disturbance. Can you hear me properly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I'll just repeat this once again.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
We'll
I
just
can.
use this as a reference instead of using this video.
Okay, fine. What was the question once again? Yeah,
Sir, so what are your duties as a principal?
fine. So as normally as okay, so you should have a very strong collaboration with teachers, okay, with parents, and of course with students. Okay, and we need to guide the teachers so that we focus in a very strong academics. So beside academics, we focus in ECA, extracurricular activities, as well as CC. So we call it co-curricular activities, and lots and lots in collaboration with international programs. So my school exchange program might be some sort of presentation, might be some sort of training, and we also need to focus on values and skill, which is the most important thing which is required for students. So basically, like, these are the normal duties of the principal.
So Ruchita, I thought you had one more question. So like,
Yeah, I had one left. So which qualification do you have?
Regarding my qualification, so I've
Yes.
completed a master's in English in India, and later I completed my MEd, so Master in Education in ELT, so English Language Teaching, from Kathmandu University.
so like that was basically it. Like we do not have many questions, but like, so this is it. So thank you, sir. Yes, sir. So I'll start with your question. On screen. Wait, sir. So now so
Yes, so
now Ruchita.
we asked the question that how did principal sir became the principal of our school. So he basically told us that he had taught in many schools and different types of subject, and the main subject he taught was English and social studies. He also taught Nepal and also in India. And he has a teaching experience of around 12 or 13 years, and he luckily got chosen by as the principal of our school. So
Ruchit.
here, yeah, I'm saying, yeah. So means basically here he thought that he has to upgrade his country, and he also had a profession of teaching. So he thought that he'll apply for a job in a as a principal in a school. And about his qualifications, he has masters in English.
So he also has another one degree regarding being a educationist. So like we forgot to mention that.
What are what are his duties?
Janish.
He said that his duties are to lead the school as well as to work on different things and arranging and cooperating with international programs as well as activities like cultural exchange program.
Last but not least, we had a question to ask him like how tight his schedule gets, but like we did not have to because we saw it in like practically. Like he had a lot of work to do, and we barely could make time for his like interview, and like he also said it to us like when we were in the meeting, like his schedule is tight and could not arrange a proper time. So thank you. So this is it.
Okay, thank you so much. It was indeed very good interview with the principal. That's what you will find. Like it's very difficult to get the appointment at times. So rather than calling the people to the class, so it would be very good that you do interviews so that we could all learn from that. So that is also one of the objective, because sometimes we plan to bring the resource person and the time is so tight, exactly we cannot bring, means we have to do it recording. And right now from recording itself, it was a very good interview with the principal. And like I think most of the questions were itself relating to grade 8, and you can see we have that exact topic for principal itself on page number 17. So and it really meets the requirement exactly of what we need also. So do you have any like feedbacks for this group? You can do it in writing also later on, right? If you want to say appreciation openly, that's also welcome. And other things you can write it in the Google form. I have sent you a link. I will keep it in the Google Classroom later on, which is editable. So by the time we finish, you can still be editing their scores. Or if you want to keep on adding, so that's a peer assessment for everyone, so that they can see and they can also work out on the feedback. And same way you also work out on the same feedback, because means if you're able to evaluate them, means maybe you expect the same thing from yourself also, right? So that we will be all learning from each other. Okay, principles. Okay, now go to page number 17. Okay, page number 16. Okay, do you have any thing that you want to say to this group? Okay, if anyone has any appreciations or any feedbacks. Okay, if not, we will also continue. From my side, I already told that was indeed very good. Okay, excellent. That,
Excuse me, sir, page number 17, right?
yes, 16 and 17. Okay, please turn on the cameras. I cannot see Saksham, Zanvi, Arav, and Noyan. And I don't know whether Saksham is there or Saksham's brother is there also. I want to know. Okay, who is there also? I want to know. So please turn on the camera. You know what I'm trying to tell. Okay. So like sometimes we won't even know who is there. Please turn on the camera. And one of the reason teacher really wants to know who is behind the camera. I mean, who is exactly sitting here also. Because sometimes little version might change based on who is sitting there. Okay. Now on educational profession, so this is the same thing that we have been doing from grade 6, grade 7, same thing, importance of education, same type of thing. And that's why we just had a review of that based on our first activity, that was, let's say, type of window pane activity I told, to just uh, recall on our prior knowledge. Now, I cannot see you. Please turn on the camera. Okay, now okay, this is what happens. Especially if you leave the meeting, this will be recorded, and later on in attendance, punctuality, these things will be like immediately kept. Like when you exactly leave, when the teacher says to turn on the camera. When you come in and out, it's automatically recorded. I think you have been seeing that, and later on that will be calculated through formula. Okay, based on like how much attendance is there and how much punctuality. I will just keep a formula and it will just calculate, and how much percent you keep in which place, it will just go through formula. I will not be remembering that what good excuse you had even formula. I cannot make that so much artificial intelligence to calculate the formula there. Okay, to some extent it is possible with if and then everything. Okay, but it takes a little more time. So yesterday also I had a very like I got really shocked at the end when two people were still there after the meeting was over also. Were not able to in, that means they were not there. I've been noting that. Okay, I don't want to take the name of this, but I will just tell. So immediately after the class is told to be over, if you are still remaining there and you don't respond at all, that means you were not there, and that leaves a very bad impression, thinking you might be doing the same thing at other times also. Okay, if you're caught once, it means maybe you have been doing other days also. Sometimes the teacher is in a hurry, will end the meeting and run away because the teacher has the next class. But when it's especially last class, then you will get easily caught. Okay, now, so I told you we have been doing this about educational profession from grade 6 itself, and itself at the beginning of the year we talked about the importance of education, and then we went into the importance of social studies, importance of OBT, and which were more or less similar, trying to talk about the knowledge, skills, attitude. Yes or no? Same way you heard principal talking about the skills and values, so we can have some connection with the values and attitude. So more or less, uh, that's what is really required in education. Even in the government version, you could see it was written in Nepali, but it was written something like attitude, the meaning, attitude, ethics, value based. And if you see sometimes some of the school itself are giving priority to saying value based learning. Like in Japan, they say they don't exactly are studying; they are studying more with the value things in the primary school. So because that's really important, because more one of the main thing is because of ethics. People are doing corruption to everything maybe because they have poor ethics or they don't have values. Okay, so maybe so that's why also one of the thing, not only caught that thing, okay, or the crimes to anything, it's all based on value based. So like if every one of the whole country are educated with that system, then there will be very less crime. That there won't be like in Netherlands. You think you can see I there were, I think, record like saying no prisoners. It's all because of values that they are not there. But in our case, if we hear some are self teacher, next time they're in manpower company and there's a complaint saying, okay, I am not going to say anyone, but saying that person itself is taking people in the name of foreign abroad and making the person disappear after taking money. So you can still see some people are still like just money oriented. So it's basically like values, all these things has to be also there as well. So that's why education, attitude, knowledge, skills, everything has to be over there. So with education we have different things, okay, as a part of knowledge, like we have been studying different things. Like in knowledge, like we have been studying like from the concept based learning also, like maybe based on like you understand through concept, or same way with different themes, okay, like so that you are updated about like what are the changes in the world, okay, what are the current happenings in the world. So you have knowledge of various subjects. In some countries like Singapore, it was told like they are just studying especially math and science as a subject. Maybe that is a standalone subject, and remaining other subjects are all based to research, to all the things that we are doing to some extent. It's not that we are not doing, okay, I think we have been doing, okay, but mainly subject direct teaching, it must be saying, trying to say standalone subject, like what you have been hearing. Standalone means that they don't go under any theme, and when that's when you have to do a separate standalone and teach them, because it doesn't go directly to some themes at times also. But some in some education you can see they're going based on STEM education, where they are giving priority to STEM, and right now STEAM. First it started with STEM, and like when I knew about IV, I was also not aware about STEM, because one of my colleague had gone to a school which had started a STEM education. I was also not totally aware about that, in which they were giving like it was based on STEM was based on like science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and that's a scope. That's what being a scope recently within this decade, because that didn't start also from a long time. Things are changing. So with that theme itself, that is itself also like a thematic. If you moreover, I think IPC in the primary curriculum, if you're there, although I know about IB, IPC must be also similar with the theme. I have not gone through that in
So
detail.
the sir IPC we learned it for like 1 year or 1 or 2 years. So in
Okay.
IPC we have like 2 or 3 topics we have to do research on, like present it and do activities related to it.
So that was also theme based, I think, because more or less theme based. When I started my teaching career itself, it was going theme based. Okay, although the words of ipc or other things were not coming, theme based was happening. All the things are, I think, going according to the theme, that most of the subjects are taught in connection. Like when I'm teaching one subject, then within that subject all the subjects are also connected and taught with a theme. Like in case of ib in the primary years, who we are, where we are in place and time. Okay, I think this type of similar synonyms you might see in others also. Okay, uh, how the world works. Okay, how sharing the planet, different ways. So under that theme, the things are being taught, more or less, that subjects of social studies, subjects of science will be covering them under that theme. So this is the relating to education. So that's the objective. And for education, there's nothing to tell. You have been acquiring this education in the school, although we have been starting from preschool, with maybe some came from Montessori background, some from different backgrounds. Okay, so schools, and similarly in college and then universities and vocational education things you will be receiving from training centers. And the people involved in this profession are teachers, professor, principal. So we had one interview with the principal, and for teacher we did that in grade 7 also. So teacher, it's not that teacher is just a center of information now. Okay, that source of knowledge of everything. Teacher is more like a facilitator in this 21st century. So that rather than just listening to the teacher's lecture, the learning can happen through various activities, like which we have been trying, so that it meets the 21st century education needs. So more or less is trying to impart knowledge to the children, although this is a book from government, which means it will be some at times written in traditional words, not with the latest context of what is in the world. But here it's trying to say, it's to make sure the teachers are imparting knowledge, not only knowledge, skills, everything has to be there. So I told you these things, if you refer to the books of Nepal, then it will be a little more traditional. Okay, little more traditional, because they are not updated with the new way of education in the world. So teachers work is itself like a facilitator, facilitating the learning. And for educational background, like there are a difference in terms of qualification. In case of Finland, okay, like they have been told, like I cannot say the exact fact, but it was written that normally they have to finish masters to teach. Okay, after they finish their masters, then they have 1 year of training, and then they will be getting the license of a teacher to teach in the schools. Whereas that is not the case in case of Nepal directly, but we also have teaching license. Okay, if you do your education, that's relating to education itself of teaching pedagogy to everything, that is normally like if you do your bachelor's in education, means you are going to study that for 3 years if it was in the past. Right now most of the courses are 4 years for bachelor's. I did till last time, I think when I did my bachelor's, it was 3 years when I did both the degrees, and later on it all of them have been changed to already 4 years. So B.Ed, M.Ed. But the thing is, if you need to get a education license, like after you have finished any one of the degree, let's say you have already finished your bachelor's, then you don't have to study for 3 years or 4 years to get that degree. You can just go for 1 year and get that degree. Okay, if you have already completed that bachelor's degree. If you have already finished master's, you don't have to go and study that for 2 years and again everything. You're just going to do 1 year. Because I had one principal, like when I worked as a volunteer in St. Xavier's Godavari, before, like he had his master's and then he just went for his 1 year B.Ed, 1 year M.Ed continuously to finish his education. Before that, he had done in other topics like psychology, MA in psychology, where I heard he was a topper for MA in psychology of his university. I don't know the fact, but he was a very good role model also. Okay, and later on, he just did his 1 year MA, 1 year B.Ed, and is teaching, I think, right now in St. Paul. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. This, like, they need this degree, they need the license. So you can see in case of Nepal also, we have those degrees, like education degree itself. So for our country, if you have to teach 1 to 5, you just need grade 10 is enough. So you can see some difference. In our case we cannot say that, because all of them, like, you will not have that qualification. In the past, like, there were people, even if they finished SLC, it was so enough, they couldn't even. Still now you can see people are having dropout from government schools. They are not even able to feed for their fooding. How will they have the education? So we cannot compare everything with developed country, because like, world countries, like, they will not be able to afford all the way to a higher level degree. Forget even about UK. I think they will not be having double degrees. One degree is, I think, enough for them. If they go for next degree, they might have hard time to even survive. Not because of that, because it's a competition. Whole market is expensive. Like, if it's difficult for them to also uh, continue, like, sustain, I think so. So for grade 1 to 5, grade 10, there will people like having it's a bachelor's and teaching in UK itself, but I don't know why master's is region, and we cannot copy exactly of saying Finland or any countries also directly, I think, at times. Okay, like, just saying, because our perspective is different. If we had all of them educated, then that was a different cases. Like, whole countries right now, still literacy is not 100% also in our country. Now for 6 to 8, grade 12 is enough to teach. So means government, if you want to go to a government job and teach in the government school, grade 12 is enough. You have to compete for the exam and you can start teaching grade 6 to 8. So that's allowed till now. Although it was told to, like, they would be extending by one level high, maybe bachelor's, and for masters, those who were having earlier like 9 and 10 bachelors, they would be requiring masters. That was told, but it has not still occurred. And same way for 9 and 10, bachelor's is enough. And 11 and 12, they need to have masters in the relevant subject. So what is the subject? Based on that, if they have did masters in science, then they can be teaching science in 11 and 12. So that doesn't mean that you finish arts and start teaching science in 11 and 12. Okay, that means relevant subject has to be there. What is the degree of that field? So that is about the educational qualification. And same way for professor, that's for the university. In case of university, like, if you finish your masters itself, you can teach masters, but they will be having a criteria of around first division normally. Like, if you have done your masters in normally, I think, around first division, they'll be allowing you all the way to teach even till master's level. So that means bachelor's level is also allowed, 11 and 12 is also allowed. But for higher level means you need higher so at times degree. That's what are the requirements in some of the cases. So those are the people who are going to be working as a professor. If they finish PhD, of course they can teach 11 and 12. Like, I had, like, when I studied, 2-3 PhD holder itself, I think, in 11 and 12. Means if they are PhD holder, you will see their name as doctor something something. So that means they have done their PhD. Okay, after master's. So it means,
Yes, sir. So time is up also.
okay, we're just trying to conclude with principle also. Just wait again. So professor, so that is regarding professor. And finally, principal, you saw from our interview of the school principal, what are the duties, what is the normally qualification required. Here, if you see, there is no specific qualifications written here, but some people, like, I could see some in other places writing master's level for school level principal. But here, this book, I cannot exactly say. So master's level, for the teacher is asking for masters, and principal, I had been seeing those requirement of writing master's level for school level, that is up till grade 10 and 11, 12. For preschool, principal, bachelor's itself, they are asking, I think.
Supposed, I guess.
We can leave though because it's above 50.
Sir,
And
timer is not paused.
thank you,
Sir,
sir, for the
timer is also with
class.
us. He told that
Which you are watching
children,
the recording.
children, you can go. The time is already up.
Can we leave?
I don't.
Just write it in the chat and leave, I
Watching the
guess.
recording.
Sir is recording.
Never mind. So do we leave or not?
I think so. We should not.
Sorry, so we can leave.
Sir left means we also should leave.
I guess. Oh, God knows.
I'll also leave.